Don't miss the Hogwarts Express for the next episode of
Nerdazons. I am really pumped for this episode.
Same.
Yeah, when I was writing my notes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was such a nerd for Harry Potter. I will get into that.
I only just read the books for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
Probably a month ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, I am just going to have to fully disclose everything that...
That's fine. That's fine.
So I was so obsessed with this series. I used to scrapbook everything that I would find.
Nerd!
Literally. Like, I still have my scrapbooks, and these scrapbooks had everything from pens. I had the original chocolate frog card designs that were the holographic ones.
I've got some.
They weren't shaped like the new ones. Yeah. So I had the original ones. I even had Schweppes. Remember when they had all the different flavoured Fantas? They were running a competition when I was younger where you could find the golden snitch under the bottle lid. And I've even got like the bottle lid. I've got the wrapping paper. Everything is in those scrapbooks. I even won a few competitions for it, so that also had it. I used to know the first 3 films off by heart, word for word, and my friends hated watching them with me. I
love doing that though. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
it's just, if you know the words, you're like blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah,
it's
blah.
like I know more than you do.
Yeah.
I even me and my best friend, we even created a Harry Potter game that we used to play when we were bored. Especially when we were in the car, or if we couldn't fall asleep. So I love that game.
What was it?
So the idea of the game was you would select, say, a topic, so be it characters, and then you would each go and name a character until you couldn't name anymore, and then it would be like spells, and then it would be like animals or anything like that. So we would just keep going and whoever won, so say for instance I won naming people, then I would pick the next topic. So
that's awesome.
And yeah, we used to do that if we wanted to fall asleep. This is how nerdy I got. I even went to my local library to get the original soundtracks by John Williams. I loved them. And I had to bring them back home, and I had to go old school and tape from the CD to a cassette. And I would tape the CD onto the tape player, tapes, and then I would listen to them while I slept. And then if I woke up in the middle of the night, and it had stopped, I would flip the tape over to the next side.
Oh, cute.
I was so obsessed.
My niece, who's 6, just started watching. My sister only let her watch the first Harry Potter. But I go, Estelle, what's your favourite Harry Potter character? She just looks at me and she goes, hello, Hermione. I'm like, so Hagrid's your favourite?
That's so funny.
And then her and George they'll go play Harry Potter in the backyard, and they'll literally pick up sticks and pretend to
they're like
wands and do spells at each other. But it's just the cutest thing. Hello, Hermione.
Oh, yeah. I was pretty obsessed with Harry Potter. Like, it was I was such a tomboy as a kid. I never read. I always played sports and things like that. And my twin, he was like the book like nerd. And then I was just captivated with the first movie, read the book straight away. And then, yeah, my obsession grew from there. So that's my disclosure.
See, I only started a month ago. Because I found my Kindle after all these years, and then I went, oh, what's on my Kindle? And I realized I had all the Harry Potter books. Because I grew up watching the movies and things, but the book was a little bit, I'm gonna get some hate here, but the book was a little bit boring, but I think it's because it's set for younger audience, and also I knew what was happening.
Yeah, I think that's what was good about the books that I really liked is as you read them, and because I read them at the same age that the movies came out, so you were 11 and then you went to 12 and then da-da-da-da, so you were the same age as what the characters were in the book, so you kind of, like, you could relate. So my favourite book was the 5th one, and it always was.
Which one's that one?
The Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
And that's unfortunately, when that movie came out, that was when my obsession died, because they just ruined it. And yeah, like if you grew up watching, reading the books as you were the same age, I think you could easily relate to them a lot better. But yeah, the first one is, it's my, the 5th one was my favorite book, but the first one's always been my favorite movie, and it still is, because it's where it starts. It's where all the magic
Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite.
It's everyone's favorite.
I know.
I don't even ask anyone anymore. I know it's always that one.
Yeah,
And I
or the
think that
Goblet
kind
Fire.
of makes me hate it a little bit too.
Really? No,
Yeah.
but so we'll start with the book. I loved that there was like characters that aren't even in the movies, like the poltergeist.
That that was one of my things about the movie that I wish was in it, but we'll get to that.
And you know, reading on, you obviously get more details than you do with the movies, and you get a bit more like when Dumbledore dies in the movies, I was like, whatever, like whatever.
In the sixth one.
Yeah, but in the books, like I remember, I think I actually read that book because of peer pressure, and I was just like heartbroken.
Yeah.
More than they didn't really do a good job in the movie, but we're only focusing on the first one.
Yeah,
so
I've got more to say on the other ones if you want to talk like
Alright,
that. But
so,
let's just talk the first one.
Do you want to mention what it's about?
So it's about a boy who has a very horrible living situation, and you know wishes things would change, but then he finds out he's a wizard, and there's a whole magical world that's pretty much hidden under everyone's noses, and he gets introduced to it, and then learns a bit about his actual family history in that world. So with the book, like I was saying, I was never a reader. I never read, and this was the first book I actually read. I was hooked on it. I was captivated when I read this book. Out of the entire series, though, the fifth one was my favorite.
Yeah.
I think I would also argue that this is one of the closest book to movie transitions that you can get. I know you've got a favorite one.
Call Me By Your Name. Oh my goodness. I was like, what? Oh yeah, no, that, oh my goodness, I would love to do that as an episode. But that, that movie breaks my heart. And I found out that Armie Hammer, who is such a babe, does the audiobook.
Oh, okay.
And
you're obsessed with him.
Yeah, I know. Him and Stephen Fry are two of the only people I've ever listened to as in audio form.
And Will Wheaton.
Oh yeah, and Will Wheaton. Yes, 3. So yeah, because I got the book and I also got the audio with the Harry Potter books, and Stephen Fry reads it, and he does such an amazing job of this, and he really, gets into the characters, and it actually makes you love the books even more.
Yeah, I haven't actually listened to this one in audio. I just remember it because I have read it many times, so I didn't go back and reread it for this. Mm-hmm. But I like how descriptive J.K. Rowling is.
Yes.
Even though, like we discussed, it's a book that's aimed for young adults, but it's still descriptive in a way that's not confusing. She managed to describe this whole magical world very well.
Not like Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings, which,
they can have quite long, confusing words.
And that's the same as Game of Thrones, is that he does spend a lot of time describing things where you're just like, okay, now get to the point, please, mate. Like, hurry up.
Yeah, like I feel like it's done just perfectly. You don't need to be over the top, and she's not too under described. She does it very well, and the world she created, again, it is something that kind of was never, it was a whole new stream of magical worlds. You always had Terry Pratchett books where he had his own wizarding worlds and things like that, but this was just so different, and I think it was different because it focused on a boy wizard, not so much adults and things like that. I think that also there are a lot of characters that everyone can relate to in this book. So, for example, everyone knew the spoiled rich kid, which was Dudley. Everyone knew an uncoordinated kid that people made fun of, which was, Neville, etc. So I think both young readers relate well to this because it expresses the difficulty of going to a new school, making new friends, fitting in, examples like that.
Yeah.
So you can kind of feel a bit of that awkwardness from the words and the way it was written.
Uh-huh.
And Harry isn't sure how to fit in either of the worlds, so you kind of follow him along on that, and it's just expressed very well. Yeah,
he's from the Muggle world, even though he is a wizard.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah. So I just think also, you know, J.K. Rowling did very well at describing this magical world and doing it so vividly.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's safe to say that most people reading it, adults or children, wish that this was a place they could have gone to when they were 11. You know, they wish that that was a school they had gone to. And I think even, adults wish they could do that. So she should definitely be commended for getting both adults and children into this book series.
And that's right. It's got people into reading and not just the movies, because you find out so much more in the books versus the movies. And I have to say, they cast it brilliantly.
They did do very well. They did.
Yeah. The way that, like, Hermione, that was exactly how she was in my head.
Yeah. When you think of, like, and they did her hair so well in the first movie.
Yeah.
Kind of bugged me in the second one.
Yeah.
Because it was all like, it was wavy, but it was like a straight wavy. Whereas in the first one, they really had that bushy detail.
Yes.
And that was one thing as the movies go on. Like, there was a little elements throughout that really bugged me, but I think they captured the costumes beautifully. The way everyone was, like, even Dumbledore in his glasses and he just looked so wise. His outfits looked amazing. When the late Richard Harris died, rest his soul, I remember I was on my way to a softball game and I was so upset. And my mum's like, "What is wrong?" And I'm like, "Richard Harris died." And she's like, because I heard it on the radio, and she's like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "That's Dumbledore." And then she's like, "Oh, just go and play," you know. I was so gutted. And then I wasn't sold on Michael Gambon because they completely changed his outfit. And I will say the same sentence that I have said ever since that movie came out. Mm-hmm. They put him in rags. Like, Dumbledore was in these beautiful, like, designed robes with detail, and it just looked shiny and velvety, and everything looked really good. And then they just gave him these crappy purple rags. And that was one thing that bugged me when Michael Gambon came in. But then I feel like when he came in, they gave him a very good script to say, so it kind of made up for it, like really good wise scripts and things that he would say. But that was a pet hate of mine. So Hermione's hair and Dumbledore's rags.
Yeah. But I would have loved to have lived in this world.
Me too.
Yeah.
I prayed for it, like, every day. I'm like, I want my letter to Harry, like, to Hogwarts. And
which house are you in on Pottermore?
Slytherin. Yeah. Don't give me that look.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
No, actually, sorry. Ravenclaw. I always get Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw mixed up. I have a theory.
Yeah.
That, like, well, it's not really a theory, but Slytherin are, like, just horrible assholes. Sorry.
Wow.
Not that you are, but they're just, like, the jerks.
I just think, okay, so I think that, because when you get cast in it on Pottermore, because, like, when I was younger, I used to always get, they used to have these quizzes all the time, and I used to get Slytherin or Gryffindor. They were the two that I'd always end up in. And I used to try and be, like, a real badass. I'm like, yeah, I'm in Slytherin. And then when I got older, and I'm like, oh, I'm not like, I'm just, you know, I'm just like this delicate person now. I'm not that mean person. And then when I redid it and got cast, I was kind of, like, gutted. But then there's this very long thing, and it's like, you know, she was just trying to say on Pottermore, she's like, don't focus on that. You know, Slytherins are just ambitious people. They're not nasty. They're not evil. And she's like, and even Merlin, the great wizard, was a Slytherin. I'm like, yeah.
Well, and then I think, like, Gryffindor are, like, your jocks, like your footy players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Ravenclaws are
the book
nerds. And then Hufflepuff are, like, your derpy derps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, good.
They're like your chill people who will just, like, tag along.
Yeah.
The Hufflepuffs, yeah. But no, it was that's what I got on Pottermore. I redid it.
And what's your
my Patronus?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't know if I did that. I should go back and redo it. What was yours?
Cat.
Aww.
I'm like, oh, fine. I can't have anything, like, magical. I have to have a cat.
Oh,
thanks.
I don't remember what mine was.
Well, you'll have to do it afterwards.
Yeah, I don't even remember my logon details for Pottermore.
But
did you hear she's going to release 3 new stories?
No.
Yeah, but that's one thing that's kind of, I've never really been frustrated with J.K. Rowling until recently. She's just ruining the original stories by adding to them, and it's like, I get you can add some things to the characters, but you're now changing a candid story that you created.
Are you talking about the new movies?
Not the new movie. Well, yes to that. That bugged me as well, the second one. I loved the first Fantastic Beasts. Hated the ending of the second one. But
I don't think I saw the second one. I don't, because I didn't even enjoy the first one.
The first one was really fun. I really, really liked that. And it was really good to see more of the animals. I don't like that guy. Oh my God, you don't like Freddie Highmore?
No, the other...
Isn't that it?
No. What's his
Johnny Depp.
No. Oh, that got me
Colin
so angry.
Farrell.
No, the main guy.
Yeah, isn't that his name? Freddie Highmore, the redhead.
It's not Freddie Highmore, is it?
I don't know.
Hold up. We're searching this.
Yes. Oh, it's Eddie... Oh my God, it's not
Eddie
Freddie
Redmayne.
Highmore.
I don't even know who you were talking about.
I think he was actually a kid from... I think he was the kid in Danny McPhee or August Rush, I think.
Oh, I don't know. But Eddie Redmayne, I can't handle. After seeing him in that movie with...
I haven't really seen him in much else.
That movie that was terrible, and it had Everybody Loves Channing Tatum and the other chick, Mia Kunis.
Oh, you're talking about Jupiter Ascending.
Oh my goodness, that was...
I never watched it.
Don't.
I wasn't going to. It looked terrible.
No, like Eddie Redmayne's character is meant to be some evil, just horrible person, and he's like, talks like this. And
yeah, like, but don't put that on, Fantastic Beasts is good though.
No, but I just have, I don't know, I just can't stand him.
Well, I really liked, I liked seeing the Wizarding World at a different time, like a different era, which was really, really cool. And I always found the animal side of the magical world interesting. So it was nice to see more of that. But you don't see much of the Fantastic Beasts in the second one. And that's what's really annoying. And I went into it thinking, okay, it's not so bad. But then the last key point, it's been out for a while. I'm just going to tell you all.
Yeah, spoil it for me. But, I don't
care. The guy who played the new Flash, what was his name? The troubled kid.
I love that kid.
I can't remember his name. What was his name? Anyway, his character in it, Ezra Miller, that's it.
Yes,
so his character at the end of the second one is they implied he was a Dumbledore. That is a whole new character in the series. Dumbledore only had one brother and one sister, and his sister died, and his brother comes in the books, and you hear more of the story that way. And to add him in that is so infuriating that I walked out thinking any bit of good piece of this movie is gone.
See, I
she just keeps adding to it, and it's like, why are you ruining a candid story?
Was it her though, or was it the director?
No, and then after she finished it, so we all knew that she released that Dumbledore was gay, right? After the series had finished, and she just left it at that. But she keeps re-adding to it and saying things of oh yeah, it's a very, she's going over the top to explain it's definitely a very intimate relation he had with this person, and it's just why do you have to go and keep changing it? She just keeps adding things and things to it, and it's it's not needed. It's not at all.
See, I just think Johnny Depp's done, and
yeah, he's a has-been.
Can you
now.
Not
But he only came in right at the end. So.
Yeah, but do you see any more of him in the next movie?
He's practically in the whole next thing.
Oh no, then
They should have kept Colin Farrell. He was better.
Yeah, see, Johnny Depp is always...
My partner hates Johnny Depp as well.
Oh, no, I loved him in Crybaby. Oh my God, one of my favourite,
I loved him in the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
That's where he got his break. Because,
And What's Eating Gilbert's Grey?
Oh, yeah. Great? Yeah, some of his early stuff was good. It was.
Yes, and he was such a babe. Oh. Now he's a weirdo.
Yeah. Okay, we're really off topic from the first Harry Potter. Let's go back. Let's go to the movie. Oh, actually, first.
No, let's go back to the book.
Let me give you... What do you think the Google users rating was for the first Harry Potter book?
100%.
You were close. It was 96. So it is still a book, I think, that holds to this day.
Yeah, but like I said, I did read it. I read it within 3 hours or something.
Yeah. Oh, wow, you're a fast reader.
Well, it's only a tiny little book.
Yeah, but when I read, I'm so slow. I read and then I have to sit back and then try and visualize their world. I like to do that. So it takes me ages to read. That's why I don't read.
See, I get into it and then I look up and I go, oh, what's the time? Oh, I've been reading for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm a slow reader. That's why I think I was never a reader as a kid. I was embarrassed.
Well, yeah, and like I said, I did enjoy it, and I
think
can't
you
wait
might
to
have
read
enjoyed
more.
it more if you were younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But and when I went back and watched this movie, it's an amazing movie, an amazing story, but it's just a little bit, you can see.
It is for the younger audience.
No, but like it's all the graphics are just like terrible. The acting's terrible.
I don't think the graphics and acting is bad. I think it looks aged. It's like there's a film on it. Like it's almost like there's like a blue sort of film across. Like it looks older, even though it was only done in the like 2000 or something.
Yeah.
But it looks like there's still that hazy feel across it.
Yeah.
But let's move to the movie. Right. Do you know what I got on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, no. I'm going to guess again. I'm going to guess 93%.
No, it actually got 81.
Oh.
Yeah, 81.
I'm kind of sad about that.
Yeah, I think it deserved more because, okay, as mentioned, I was obsessed when I saw this.
Really?
I was so hooked. I think it was such a good I think they converted it very well, and I think that the the producer, the director, they had such a good vision to bring like words to life, and I think it matched the book very well.
Yes.
Like I don't think they stuffed it up really at all. Yes, there were things that were taken out, but I don't think they were things that ruined the actual story.
And I don't think it matters that they weren't in there. It's not going to hinder the storyline at all by it not being in, for sure.
Like you mentioned, so it was Peeves the poltergeist who was he was always funny in the books, and he was kind of throughout the books actually, but it didn't ruin the films that he wasn't in.
Not at all. But I also got love to have seen Winky be in there more.
And another thing too with Peeves, he was actually in the first few games. So even on Game Boy, I played the Harry Potter one on Game Boy, and Peeves was in that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it would have been nice, but it didn't hinder the movie.
No, that's absolutely right. And in all honesty, I think this movie is perfect compared to book to movie adaptation. It's one of the best.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I think this is one of the best book to movie adaptations. Like, even I know you didn't really like, the CGI and stuff, but it wasn't bad. Like, think of Norbert on the table. He didn't look super bad. I think the worst CGI part that they had, and even then it didn't look too bad. Like it looked like it fit in the scene. I think the worst was Fluffy's heads. When you saw him get up, I'm like, oh, okay, you can kind of see it, but it didn't look super bad.
No, and I just going back to the cast and stuff. The guy that played Draco was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Just such a little weasel that I wanted to punch in the face. And I just love to hate him.
Yeah. And he did it very well.
Yeah, and his little friends as well. And
it bugged me that they stopped pulling his hair back in the third one.
Yeah.
Because I really liked that sleek look. It just made him seem more like a snake.
Yeah.
And then they stopped it, and then he just looked like a whiny rich kid.
Yeah, see, I agree with that 100%.
But I think that it worked well if you followed the movies and books, because his dad kind of went that way as well.
Yeah.
So they did become, even at the end, Draco wasn't bad. He just kind of unfortunately fell into that group because of his family, and his family, they all knew that they needed to kind of get out, but they couldn't. So it kind of worked with his character a bit there.
No, that's absolutely right. And I just think this movie is absolutely just perfect.
Yeah, and the soundtrack, it was done by John Williams, so he's done most of the most. Oh, it's so good. Like I said, I used to sleep with this soundtrack. I always had to have it on. I love it. John Williams, if you listen to a lot of his stuff, and I do, because I'm a nerd like that, he did the soundtracks to Hook, Star Wars, and you can kind of see some of the stuff that he has done for the other movies. You can kind of hear it in Harry Potter, but he just created such a sound that everyone, even if you didn't watch Harry Potter, you would know the soundtrack.
Yes.
You would know the soundtrack.
Yes.
And it's just a beautiful score.
It's so amazing when music
adds to it
and just makes it perfect.
Even when Harry gets his wand and the lighting effect, and the wind really shows that, the wand's chosen you, but the soundtrack also added to that, oh, you've got like that, that moment, and he just did really well to capture that.
I only just like realized like a few moments ago that the guy who is in the wand, who chooses the wand, Ollivander, is the war doctor on Doctor Who.
Yeah, John Hurt.
John Hurt, yeah. Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No. I didn't know that was John Hurt.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's, I think he was in a few of the films. But back to what I was saying about being able to capture everything, Chris Columbus, who did the movies, not only did he bring this world to life and not ruin, and like he still managed to stay true to the book. Like he created an entire fictional sport and still managed to make it look amazing. Like Quidditch.
Yeah.
Sure, you can read about it, but to actually bring that to life.
See that
and make it look good.
That's one bit that was a little bit with the CGI and stuff when he was falling off the broomstick and he's holding it there and he's going.
Yeah, that didn't look so good. No. But again, like, it was late 90s.
And it's a new
and it
world.
Still looked okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it still looks good.
Absolutely.
But yeah, even in the second one when his arm goes all bendy and stuff, like they did well to recreate book to live action.
So what do you rate the book?
I am a sucker for this book and I'll read it many, 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 many times.
Yep.
I'm going to go 4.5 out of 5.
Same.
Yeah, it's just so good. I think, again, we would both agree on this. I think the half star is gone just because we're that little bit older now, but I'm a bit sentimental. And, it's my first ever book that I finished and read, so I love it.
My first ever book that I read properly was a book called Tall Pied Poker. Oh my goodness, it's one of my favorite books ever. And it was like the hardest thing it's not on Amazon, it's not on, you can't get it on Kindle. It's really hard to find. And I think I lent it to somebody ages ago. And if you've got my copy of my book, keep it. I have a new one. Thank you very much. But yeah, and it's just the cutest story ever. And I think you would like it.
Oh, that's cute. I would love to eventually go and read. I've always wanted to read the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. So he's done many books.
Yes, 46 books, I think.
In the Discworld, or just altogether? No,
Discworld.
Yeah, I do want to read the Discworld because that sounds really, really interesting to me. But again, once I finish studying, I will try and become a bit of a bookworm.
Ever gonna finish studying?
No, I hope so. I really do hope so. But what would you give the movie? What would you rate the movie?
I give it 4.5 reels.
I agree.
Yeah.
4.5.
Yeah.
I think if I had to rate at the time the movie was released, I'd go 5 reels.
Yes.
But I think that half reel has to be gone just because of time, and the CGI on it.
Yes.
But it holds up. Like I think you can let any child watch that movie.
Yeah.
At any time.
So like my niece loves it, but my sister won't let her watch anymore because they do get a little bit more darker and darker. But
yes. And I think that they're very right to not let them watch it until they get a bit older.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, we every time I go over, to this day, she's 8, and that she's been watching Harry Potter for 2 years, and she still goes on about how amazing Harry Potter is.
I love it. It was just so good.
Yes.
I had I had a very, very tiny bedroom, but my bedroom, every wall, including the roof above my bed, I just had nothing but posters. And I remember my dad, he used to, whenever when the Prisoner of Azkaban came out, there was like a pin collection.
Yep.
You would get like the Hogwarts castle and then you'd have to collect the pins and put them on, and he would make sure he went down every morning to get the token because our little newsagents didn't get many of the pins, and he'd make sure he'd go down there to get every pin. I even have that still. Like, wow. It's all boxed up, my stuff. So
when I was in the US last year, my friend gave me got me a ticket for my birthday to Universal, and we got like the fast pass, and we got to go to Universal Studios. I got to go to Harry Potter Land.
I so want to go. That is like one of my destinations.
It was beyond amazing, and the fact that we went on the Harry Potter ride probably about 6 or 7 times, because we had the fast pass. As soon as we came off, we just went straight back on, and you walk in and you're in the Great Hall, and all of like the lighting and everything's there, and all the pictures move, and then you get onto the ride, and it starts off with like a treadmill, and you sit sideways and you get in, and then you just see all this the screens come on, and you just see Harry, come on, we're going to go play Quidditch, and you're like moving around like you're playing Quidditch.
Oh my gosh.
And then the next minute Dementors come, and then Harry's like, oh no, Dementors are coming, so then you go really fast and you try to zoom in and out of them, and you see Aragog come out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then it was amazing, and then when you finish, all the Harry Potter characters are there, and they're all just like, yay, congratulations, you got out okay.
Oh, that's so cool. I've been playing, so any gamers out there, even if you played Pokemon Go, you might know that the creators, Niantic, did a Harry Potter version. You might have seen some stuff on Facebook and stuff. Only the beta version has been released, so if you pre-registered, you're allowed to play this game before everyone else. So it hasn't been released yet, but I am one of those beta testers for this game, and it's so fun. It's so much, I think, better than the Pokemon Go. There's just so much to do. I'm hooked. I've been playing every day since it came out.
You showed me on the way to my place. And it looks really interesting, and I think I'm like most people over Pokemon now.
Yeah, exactly. Boring. Because like when you catch a Pokemon, you just had the Pokemon, whereas this, in order for you to achieve the magical item that you're trying to catch, you might have to catch it 4 times or 10 times or 15 times in order to have that item. So you have to catch it multiple times. So it's encouraging you to continually catch, which is really good. So yeah, keep an eye out for when that one comes out. It's Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
I'm
definitely worth it. Yeah, it's a good game. But I think we should move on.
Wait, stop. I've got some fun facts. Quick. I've got some fun facts about J.K. Rowling that I was just scrolling through that most of you would probably already know. J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter share the same birthday, July 31st.
Yeah, I knew that.
Well, sorry, I don't know as much as you, because I'm not a Harry Potter nerd.
Yeah, I am.
She wrote her initial Harry Potter ideas on a napkin while on the train to London.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling was awarded an Order of the British Empire in 2001. And my favourite is the original Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by 12 publishing houses before Bloomsbury picked it up.
Yeah,
12 times.
Yeah, and another.
Well, I bet you that they're quite annoyed now.
Yeah, exactly. And another really fun fact: when she made the first book, or when she was writing it, she was actually a single mum in a small apartment that was roach infested. That's how low she had got in that point of life.
She's gone from unemployed to a billionaire within 5 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, multi-billionaire.
Yeah. But I think what's good is I think she remembers where she had, and some people forget that, you were down on your luck and then became rich, but I think she still does remember that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move on to
Nerdazons Nerdy Notables.
Nerdazons Nerdy Notables. I'll get there eventually.
So
I think you've got a treat for us too, don't you?
I do. So not quite a penny dreadful, but a bit along the lines of it. Do you know the name Henning Brand?
No. So
Henning Brand was a scientist who had discovered the element phosphorus. Mm-hmm. So at the time, no one had known it. But here's the really fun part. Do you know how he discovered it?
Magic?
He was boiling his own pee. His own urine.
Why?
Okay, so this is really cool, and I feel like it ties in very well with Harry Potter. So
boiling your weed ties in with Harry Potter. Okay.
Yeah, it does. No, so he was one of those scientists that was kind of lingering around the time of alchemy.
Yeah.
So alchemy was just finishing, and as you know, alchemists, and I did Full Metal Alchemist in season 1, so it is a legitimate thing that people were trying to hunt down for, the Philosopher's Stone. So a lot of alchemists believed that the secret to life was in the body, and, urine was yellow, so they thought, oh, gold, And so he was playing with that, and then he just discovered that it was phosphorus. So that's how he discovered the element, by boiling his own urine. He was a bit of an odd scientist at that time anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, he thought he thought he could distill gold from his pee. That was what he was trying to do when he had it completely set up and things like that. So it's an element that's very vital in today's, like, in our world. So if we didn't have him doing that, we wouldn't have the knowledge. But it was something like 1,500 gallons of urine that was stockpiled and boiled, and that's how he had discovered it. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh my God, I need to tell you guys this.
Wow.
Because it's really interesting.
That is super interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that was my point that I really had to tell you guys.
Yeah. Cool.
I know it's not like my penny dreadfuls, but...
No. I still want you to give me one day.
I know. I'll have to do a proper look into it.
Yes, please. Yes.
All right. Next month I'll try and do one.
Yes, you have to. All right. What am I watching at the moment? What am I watching? I'm reading Kevin Smith's book. That's pretty cool.
That is a book I have always wanted to read. I did always want to read. I love biographies, so they're books that I just like reading, and I always wanted to read Jackie Chan's book. But then earlier this year, it came out that he wasn't as good as what he always made out he was. Like, he beat his kid, and
oh wow,
like, so his son, he had actually got really angry. He threw him across the room onto the couch. I think he had a bit of DV with his wife. He cheated on her, had a daughter with someone else, and that daughter is estranged because he doesn't like that she is gay. So when I discovered that, I just thought, oh my God, you're not this happy, cheery person that I always thought you were. I don't know if I want to read your books. This was all released in his most recent book that came out last year. I wanted to read his first book, but yeah.
Wow.
That's just a little FYI on the biography that I'm interested
Good
in.
Omens, which I hadn't read the big book before, so now that I finished Good Omens, I'm going to start reading the book.
Yeah.
I love Terry Pratchett books.
Yeah, they're so quirky.
Yes.
That's why I really want to read them, but I'm just a slow reader. I don't really have much on Nerdy Notables at the moment, so just focused with a lot of studying. But I think what we can mention is what we're going to do next month, and we're actually going to do Steph's pick, which is Total Recall.
Oh, one of my favourite Arnie movies.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched it. I mean, I probably did when I was a kid.
I haven't seen the new one yet.
I haven't.
But Total Recall is one of my favourites. I'm a bit of an Arnie fan, and True Lies is my all-time favourite movie ever. It is literally a perfect movie for me, and it made, when I was growing up, I had the biggest crush on Arnie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And also, what is her name? She's in the Halloween movies.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis in that movie as well.
I always loved their chemistry in that film.
Yes.
They just did it really well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm so excited to do Total Recall. Hopefully the second one or the remake is not as bad.
Remake was done, I think it was 2017 as well.
All I know is it's got Colin Firth in it.
Yeah, so...
No, Colin Firth? No.
Farrell?
Yeah, Colin Firth is the English guy.
So just if you can watch the original and or the remake, probably best if you can watch both, but that'll be the next ones that we'll be doing.
Wait, I have something to say.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Robert Pattinson being Batman?
I'm not happy. I'm not.
He always looks like he farted, but he doesn't want to admit that it was him.
Oh my gosh, he does.
Yeah.
Did someone tell you that?
No.
Now that you've mentioned that, I just can't visualize
like,
that.
It wasn't me.
But you know what though? Okay, so I'm a big believer of trying not to judge something until you watch it.
Yes.
But also secondly, I did see a film, a status went up saying everyone said that the guy from, I forget whatever movie it was like one of Michael Keaton's first films, everyone said that the guy from this movie would never be a Batman, and now look, he's one of the most loved Batmans. So
do you know who was meant to be Batman instead of Ben Affleck?
Jorah. No, wait, they were meant to, before they announced Robert Pattinson, the guy who played Jorah in Game of Thrones was rumoured to be Batman, the next Batman, and then they announced...
No, but do you know who was meant to be Batman before Ben Affleck?
No.
Armie Hammer. He would have, to me, perfect Batman. Legit.
He's too cheery.
No.
He's just
a babe. My thirst for him is
being a
unquenchable.
babe isn't going to be Batman. Batman is a sullen man.
Yeah, but he can't like be any worse than Ben Affleck.
I think the guy who played Jorah Mormont in Game of Thrones would have been interesting to see. He was rumored to, yeah, I think he'd be interesting to see because he's got like the withered look.
He'd be a good what's his face?
Are you trying to say Alfred?
Yeah.
No. You know that the second Doctor's son plays Alfred in Gotham? Yeah. Yeah. He does a good Alfred.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm not very thrilled that it's him.
I'm not a huge DC fan. They keep
like I said, their cartoon movies are epic.
Yes.
Please just go and watch them. But they're just not doing
justice. Their movies are very disappointing except for Wonder Woman. Oh my goodness, that was a great movie.
That was such a good film. I'm a bit curious for her second one because it is a different era. It's like I think it's set in the 80s for this one, but I'm just wondering if they still stay true to like the character development from the first one to the second one.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us what you think, or whether or not you read the Harry Potter books, or
let us know which one your favorite book and movie was.
Yes, you can email us at nerdazons@outlook.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, and we are on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, until then, we shall say bye.
Bye.
Bye.